Hi everyone, I'm Tracy and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be going over the new Natasha Denona My Dream palette. So I've had it for a few days and I've been, giving it some time, and I'll go over how I got this look in just a little bit. But I also wanted to showcase some of my newer brushes. Now I have been trying this palette with different types of brushes, and something that I can't seem to get to work with a brush are these duochrome. So this one right here, it's called Vision, and this one called Thrill. These are the duochrome. She's kind of known for that look. I haven't had any of those formulas till now, and I do think as much as I hate using my fingers to put in this beautiful palette, I do think those work best with your finger. I did put this one, this greenish purple one, Vision. I used my finger and I put a little bit on, and that seemed to get it to show up. So I'll go over really quick my opinions on the palette and which brushes I chose to use with these formulas. Now there are at least two that I can tell of those cream to powder formulas. This purple one here and this really deep like plum shade down here. I really like this shade. It translates very purple on the eye. But let me start from the beginning. I started out with this brown color. It's called Familia. And that's what I did to kind of create some definition. Something that I wish this palette has that it kind of doesn't. I wish it had a light matte, because I like doing that before I start any eye look. So I dug into my Viseart Paris Edit, and I used that really light pink shade to kind of put all over the eye area. I do wish there was something a little bit lighter to do that with, something I can put all over the eye. But there's not really anything that I can do that with. This one will be the closest one, but it's still a little dark to put all over. So I started with Familia, and then I also found that with these mattes, if you're using it as a transition color, I much prefer it with a squirrel hair brush, like the Wayne Goss 3 or the Wayne Goss 4. That's what I'm going to be using in the video that I'm going to in the B-roll, because these shades are pretty dark. So I didn't realize it online. They don't look as dark online, but especially these like mattes right here, I really do like them, but they have a lot of pigment. So what I like about these right here is that I can use them to line. They come out really nice as liners. And the only thing that I was having trouble with are, the duochromes, but I use my finger, and then these cream to powders. I did get some fallout on this side when I used it. So I feel like when you're going to use these cream powders to create definition, like, on the lid area, I think a firmer, shorter blending brush is better, because I feel like with those, you kind of have to keep them in one area. If you try to feather it out too much, you're going to create fallout and it goes on a little patchy. And so in the video, you're going to see me using the Hakuhodo G5505. I also went in with the J246HS. They still didn't give enough intensity. It did get those shimmers on, but not quite the way I wanted it to. And then for lining, I went in with the Mizuho MB130 just to give it a try, and it worked well. I did it to line, and I used this really dark brown shade. It's called Asp. So yeah, you just want to maybe keep that in mind. Both of my kids are home from school, so they're yelling at me. So yeah, it's been kind of hard to film today. And what else did I want to mention? Oh yeah, something that I had to do for the final blend. So typically when I'm done with my look, I kind of place a pretty heavy amount of shadow, both shimmer and like the crease shade, and then I'll use a clean brush at the end to blend it out. I usually use my Wayne Goss 3, which is a really fluffy scroll hair brush, but with these shades I feel like I needed a firmer brush, and so I use the Sonia G Classic Crease, and I use that just on the upper part. I didn't want to get the shimmer so that it was more blended, and it did come out really nicely. So when you see that purple shade in the crease area, that is the cream to powder shade, and I think it came out really well. And it works really well with those duochrome shades too. So I hope you guys can see those. I tried to use as many of the, you know, the shades that I thought you guys would be interested in. So I'm still like learning, trying to figure out this palette, but I do think for me it would be hard to get an everyday look out of this palette. Every time I use it I get like a really intense like evening look. It's just kind of how it works out, because those are the shades that I gravitate towards, the purples, the shimmers, and the deeper shades. But I am gonna try to get a more, you know, a more toned down look with this palette, and I think I can. But so far I'm really enjoying this palette. I haven't used all the shades yet, but I do highly recommend it. The only other midi palette I have is the midi retro, and I love that palette. I tend to gravitate towards smaller palettes, like 4 or 5, maybe like an 8 pan at most, because I get a little overwhelmed with those things out. But something else about Natasha Denona, I generally don't use like warm eyeshadow, because those shades tend not to flatter my face for some reason, except when it comes to Natasha Denona. There's something about the way she formulates her pigments, and it just works for some reason. Like these brown shades right here, they just look great. And even these like peachy coral shades, which normally look horrible on me, I like them if it's from Natasha Denona. So whatever she's doing, I really love it. She's probably my number 1, number 2 favorite eyeshadow formula. So I mean, I also love her highlighters, her lip liners, and her blushes. So pretty much everything I've tried from her I'm really enjoying, and I'm really glad I got this palette. I would say that if you are very fair and you don't want a strong look, this might be a little much for you, but if you are one that likes an intense look, I think you will really like this. If you love purples, if you love those really sparkly duochrome, I think one is a trichrome shade, you'll really like this, because those two that she has, I don't know if this Invention one is a duochrome. Let me just show it to you guys. Yeah, I think that's a duochrome too. It's like an orangish duochrome. That is one that I don't know is like gold. I tend not to use like gold shades on my eyes. But yeah, I'll eventually give it a try. I use all the shades at some point. So so that's the palette. I'm not gonna take too much time by swatching them. I just wanted to give you guys my overall opinion, and then really quick, I'm gonna insert a demo of me using my new Koyudo P2 cheek brush, and I really like this, and I really like it with the Suku melting powder blush. And I think this shade this is a limited edition. It's called Oku Hibiki. This one is really beautiful with this palette because I feel like it kind of complements the eyeshadow. It kind of mirrors the shades on the eyes. I don't know if you can kind of see that. I didn't put highlighter on because it's so hot today and I'm sweating enough already. I have enough glow going on. But that's pretty much what I have. The Patrick Ta contour and bronzer, the Natasha Denona palette, and the Suku blush. And then my lips, I have the Charlotte Tilbury liner in Mi Kiss, and then I filled it in with Dance Floor Princess, and then I added a little of the Natasha Denona Julia liner to make it a little less pink, because I felt like it was like, you know, pink, pink, pink. I kind of toned it down. So that's what I came up with today, and I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, that's what I have been getting so far. So that's gonna do it for today. I really wanted to do something more involved with the brushes. I just have so little time today, and yeah, my kids are home and it's just making it very hard for me to concentrate. So that's gonna do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.